Angela Rayner with when she inevitably goes?
Well, not only that, but let's have a look at what she said yesterday and what the now papers are saying today. She has sort of created this web of deceit, a complete and utter, farrago of lies around how she managed to get this mortgage sorted out, how she managed to buy 3 properties, or have 3 properties where she only apparently owns one of them. And now the tax people, the supposed people who gave her the wrong advice, are saying we didn't give her any advice. It's quite a big point, that.
Yeah, well, that was her...
completely destroyed her defence, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, she tried to completely scapegoat them.
Yeah.
Good day and welcome back to British Report. Right, we have a political earthquake currently registering a solid 8 on the Richter scale, and its epicentre is the Treasury, where the Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rachel Reeves, is now reportedly facing such intense pressure and such a humiliating ongoing betrayal from her own side that rumours are swirling she is finally considering a resignation. The entire crisis has been triggered by an absolutely devastating economic contraction and the unholy alliance of free market think tanks and the internal opposition, led by Angela Rayner, who have ruthlessly exposed Reeves's central weakness and the complete collapse of her core political mission. The official line is that the government is defying forecast, but the raw data and the sheer panic on the front benches tells a far more toxic story. Quick favour if you are as enthralled by the speed and severity of this economic and political meltdown as we are, and want the sharpest, wittiest insight into who is winning the Labour civil war, hit that subscribe button. Over 92% of viewers haven't yet. It's free, takes a second and means the world to us. Thanks, if you did. Now back to the show, because the Chancellor's carefully constructed image as the fiscally responsible grown-up is currently being shredded. Let's begin with the cold, hard and utterly damning figures that have ignited this bonfire. Britain's economy contracted by 0.1% in October, completely defying the expected modest growth. Worse still, the economy also shrank by 2.3%, each 1% in the 3 months leading up to October, confirming a prolonged period of stagnation and immediately fuelling market expectations that the Bank of England will cut interest rates yet again this week. The economic reality is inescapable. The government has run out of road, and its central promise, the growth mission, is a spectacular public failure. And the moment the economic figures hit, the free market assassins came out to play, brutally exposing Reeves's weakness. Callum Price of the Institute of Economic Affairs declared with surgical precision that the government has entirely given up on its growth mission and, in a moment of utter humiliation for the Chancellor, stated it now falls to Britain's private sector to rescue the country from recession. This isn't just criticism, it is a declaration of no confidence from the very people Reeves desperately needs to win over. But the worst attack, the one that is truly driving the resignation rumours, came from within her own party's policy agenda, masterminded by her chief rival, Angela Rayner. The economic experts seeing the contraction immediately called for the government to abandon the damaging Employment Rights Bill, Rayner's flagship plan to turbocharge workers' rights, because it hits businesses with exactly the kind of red tape and cost burdens they need to avoid during a recession. Daniel Herring of the Centre for Policy Studies warned that businesses were promised certainty, predictability and sympathy, but have instead had tax rises, instability and months of damaging budget speculation. He unequivocally stated that the most obvious way to help business right now would be to abandon the damaging Employment Rights Bill and, in a clear reference to Rayner's expensive proposals, curb spending, and in particular the swollen welfare bill, rather than putting more burdens on the private sector. This is the crucial point. The market and policy experts see Rayner's flagship policy as an active inflationary brake on growth, and they are demanding Reeves, the Chancellor, scraps it immediately. The fact that Rachel Reeves's hands are now politically tied by a policy agenda that was spearheaded by Angela Rayner before she was forced to resign over that still unresolved stamp duty scandal, remember, is the ultimate political betrayal. Rayner is forcing the Chancellor to carry water for an agenda that the market now views as toxic. The economic failure symbolised by the contraction has exposed Reeves's central weakness, her inability to control the spending and regulatory impulses of her own party's left wing, led by her most dangerous rival. Economists are queuing up to destroy the government's entire fiscal premise. Ewan Stewart of the Growth Commission stated in a damning indictment that this government is the author of its own and our misery, noting that the contraction came before the recent budget, which again taxed and regulated those who work to give to the increasingly failing public sector. The message is unified and brutal. The government's policies are directly causing the economic misery. The Shadow Chancellor, Sir Mel Stride, seized the moment, stating that just as night follows day, Labour will raise your taxes, accusing Reeves of refusing to get a grip on spending, including the welfare bill, again a direct swipe at Rayner's spending pledges, instead of reaching for another tax raid on working people. He then delivered the final chilling blow, and despite all this, she refuses to rule out coming back for more next year. The political narrative is now complete. The economy is contracting, the government is taxing and regulating businesses to death, and the very party Starmer and Reeves built around fiscal prudence is being publicly undermined by its former Deputy Prime Minister and her expensive workers' rights agenda. Rachel Reeves's entire political identity is based on being the trusted steward of the economy, but if she is forced to cling to a policy, Rayner's employment rights bill, that economists and businesses are screaming will deepen the recession, she is simply proving that she is a chancellor in name only. The whispers of resignation are not just about the economy, they are about political weakness and the humiliation of being perpetually undercut by her biggest internal rival. Thank you so much for watching.